What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new video where we will talk about Manchester City finally getting a date for their trial with the Premier League. They finally agreed that they will sit down and have a trial for the impending 115 financial rule break charges, with expected timing for the verdict finally set for early 2024. And in this video we will explore what kind of very severe punishment Manchester City could get for the final 115 financial rule breaking, because Everton broke one rule and they got a 10-point deduction. So Man City could be relegated and even stripped of their titles. Let me know in the comments below what would be the fair punishment in your eyes, in your opinion, for Manchester City for breaking so many rules and so many charges against them. And the big question is, why is Man City's case decided so long after Everton's case? And in this video we will explore and answer that question. And the answer is pretty straightforward. Manchester City has delayed the Premier League's investigation with pure stalling tactics, resulting in that investigation that started in 2018, so 5 years ago. It really couldn't proceed before July 2021 because Man City hired the biggest, most expensive lawyers that they could hire, and there has been a big Manchester City propaganda push lately claiming that this case is different than Everton's case and it's very complicated and must be given time. But it's a fact that the investigation against Manchester City has been more or less delayed over 3 years due to ridiculous claims about impartiality among the extremely experienced and extremely expensive lawyers appointed to decide on which documents Manchester City should hand over to the Premier League. So basically, the Man City lawyers didn't hand over all the necessary paperwork that the Premier League requested. They wanted to delay this case and to stall this case as long as possible so Manchester City could, extend their period of dominance on the football pitch, and they thought that this case would just go away. And certain information about the proceedings could be made public. They were disputing that as well, leading to no less than 4 court rulings to date, which ultimately led to a High Court judge describing Man City's delaying tactic and arguments with words like surprising, remarkable, unconvincing, and fanciful. And in lawyer language, that basically means that the Man City lawyers should be ashamed of themselves. Guess what? The Man City lawyers get paid twice as much as Kevin De Bruyne at Manchester City, which just shows how much Man City are afraid of the charges against them and how much they want to get away with cheating and rule breaking and financial cheating basically. And by the way, if you enjoyed this kind of video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new around here, and support this kind of work and my videos if you can donate via the thanks button or subscribe to my Patreon. There are different tiers, link is in the video's description, and you get great benefits along the way. Click the link in the video's description and you find out all the details. So why have Man City resorted to these ridiculous stalling tactics? Does it make them look guilty? It's very simple. It's the only chance that they have, because if they submitted all the evidence that the Premier League requested, then it would come out clear as day that they are guilty and they would get a huge punishment. It is true that both UEFA and the Premier League have gone after Manchester City with very serious allegations based on the Football League's documents. They are utterly damning and they show that Man City are guilty. That could be hard to prove, but the Premier League didn't charge Manchester City on these accounts alone. It went after the club with kind of an Al Capone play, so they could be convicted because of, for example, tax charges. The charges doesn't seem to have been made before the Premier League had so much on Manchester City that the outcome seemed to be the given. But what chance does Man City have? Simply a change of landscape. If someone told me that the current Premier League rulebook in the relevant sections have been written to have Manchester City expelled, I wouldn't protest. The Premier League doesn't have to prove anything beyond reasonable doubt. The lowest possible evidence standard applies instead. If the Premier League can show an email that suggests something, it's up to Manchester City to prove proof that they are innocent. Nothing is time barred as a rule. So it's a whole totally different than UEFA going after Manchester City, because the Premier League rules don't have, of course, time limit on the crimes committed or the crimes done. So they can charge and convict Man City being guilty even if they did it 10, 15, 20 years ago. It doesn't matter. And also the Premier League, if they charge Man City, it's up to Man City to prove that they are innocent, not the other way around, which was the case in the UEFA case. If the Premier League implement a 10-year statute of limitations, then Manchester City escapes the oldest charges that seems to be the easiest to prove. Clear payday loans from the owner, off the books payments to Mancini, their manager at the time, everything that was time barred in the UEFA cases. Because UEFA found Manchester City guilty, it was just they just couldn't punish Man City because the offenses were committed a long time ago and they got time barred. But there is no time limit in the Premier League. So these offenses, combined with the refusal to hand over documents they are obliged and they must share with the Premier League over a long period of time, should be alone to be enough for Man City to be relegated. And this is a very big development, and I'm so happy to hear it, because Man City shouldn't get away with cheating and financial doping for more than 10 years. They have won 3 Premier League titles or 4 Premier League titles, a lot of League Cups and FA Cups, and even the Champions League since they have been even charged. But throughout the whole period that they cheated, they won the majority of their trophies. And the Man City owners, the Abu Dhabi group, is also described to be involved in the Qatargate drama regarding several members of the European Union Parliament being bribed. A lot can happen in the coming 2 years. Why is this important to point out? Man City deserves a fair hearing, even if the evidence against them comes across as utterly damning. But everyone should be aware of how Manchester City will do what it said it would do, spend enormous resources to prevent such hearing from taking place. And this is very damning, because in August 2019, so 4 years ago, Premier League issued a disciplinary complaint against Man City and asked Man City to release documents that they already requested before, and Man City just simply refused. And then in October 2019, Premier League set up an arbitration tribunal to enforce that request. The club, Man City, challenged the tribunal's jurisdiction and impartiality. So they are doing these delaying tactics all the time for the last 5 years. It's absolutely disgraceful what Man City are doing. In 2020 February, the Premier League changed its rules to ensure impartiality, and the tribunal restated the demand for disclosure. They demanded Man City to release the necessary documents and papers for the Premier League to investigate. In that year, June 2020, the tribunal rejected a fresh challenge from Man City, who then filed an arbitration claim at company's court. So are you seeing what they are doing? I hope you are. In July and November 2020, the tribunal again rejected arguments from Manchester City and issued a final demand for disclosure, but the order was stayed pending court proceedings. And what I don't understand is, why isn't more published in the media? Why do I have to do investigative journalism to find all this out? And why are these not more in the mainstream media? Well, I tell you why. Because a lot of journalists are in the pockets of Man City. When you have unlimited money, you can pay off a lot of papers, a lot of journalists to publish stories favorable to Manchester City. And that's a whole other topic, how big companies and rich people control the media and control the narrative. But it's very suspicious that not more stories and not more journalists are talking about this, not more stories of this nature are in the papers at the moment. And even we haven't heard a lot about these, like in 2019, 2020, when this was happening. Not a lot of journalists and not a lot of papers covered it, because I read English media almost every day. It's my job and I absolutely love it, but I haven't heard a lot of these before today. And let me know if you have read it, if you have read any of these stories before. Let me know in the comments below where and which paper, which journalist published those, because I haven't really seen it anywhere. In March 2021, Justice Mulder, who is probably a high court judge, rejected Man City's arguments about the league tribunal, denied it permission to appeal, and informed Man City she intended to publish these decisions. She did, however, give Man City permission to apply for an appeal on the publication issue, which Man City accepted. Then in April 2021, Lord Justice Mayles accepted the appeal, and it was heard on June 30th, 2021 by him and Sir John Flaw and the Chancellor of the High Court and Sir Geoffrey Vos, the Master of the Rolls. And on Tuesday, July 20th, 2021, their rejection of Man City's appeal was published along with Justice Mulder's rulings from March. So Man City are being accused of breaching 115 financial fair play rules and regulations over 14 seasons. So from the 2009-2010 onwards. That is a massive number of seasons. 14 seasons. I bet Man City won the majority of their titles and trophies since 2009-2010. The charges include claims over financial reporting, lack of cooperation with the Premier League investigation, which was opened in 2018, so 5 years ago already. Everton were charged with breaking financial rules in March of this year, and they have already been convicted. Of course, it's one charge, and Everton accepted that they broke the rules and they accepted their punishment, while Man City, deny any wrongdoing, and also they are delaying the proceedings with every possible tool that they have, and they hired the most expensive lawyers in the world to do it. And Guardiola recently cried in a press conference saying everyone outside Man City wanted to see them punished over the allegations. I mean, cry me a river. Of course we people want to see you punished because you cheated, you doped financially, you broke the rules. Other clubs who play by the rules, other clubs who follow the rules, why wouldn't they want you being punished? You get an unfair advantage by breaking the rules. You get an unfair advantage by financially doping. So why is Guardiola complaining and crying about this? And I think it's no coincidence that Guardiola still hasn't signed a contract extension. His contract expires in 2025, and probably that's the year where Man City could get punished heavily, and basically Guardiola could run away from the sinking ship if Man City get punished and get relegated, even though Guardiola said already that he would coach Man City in the lower leagues in the Championship if they got relegated. I mean, I would love to see that happen. I mean, Guardiola against some Championship sides and this Man City team against Championship sides, that would be pretty hilarious to watch. Guardiola said, "We are innocent until guilt is proved." I know the people want Man City punished. I know it. I feel it. I will wait and see. And after the sentence has been done, we will come here and explain. And he said that I will not consider my future if it depends being here or being in League One. There is more chance to stay if you are in League One than if we were in the Champions League. What is that all about? I mean, Guardiola has more chance staying at Man City if they are in League One than if they are in the Champions League. I mean, are you serious? Like, how does that make any sense? The biggest reason for this big delay is that the investigation started in 2018, but Man City stalled the investigation until the autumn of 2021. I already mentioned all the delays that they did in the courts. So that's 3 years without much of the investigation, much of the case going forward. So if it hadn't been delayed, which of course is a hypothetical, Man City would have had a verdict already in 2022 instead. That is significant because they won the Champions League in 2023. So Man City wouldn't even be in the Champions League if they had been punished in 2022. So their treble wouldn't have existed, and it shouldn't. I think they should be stripped of the titles, and the second place team should be awarded the title or the trophy of that competition that Man City won, because Man City got there by cheating, by financially doping, by breaking the rules, and if other clubs followed the rules, they should be awarded the trophy. That's my honest opinion. Let me know what is your opinion in the comments below, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Credit to Swedish Rumble, the Swedish Rumble on Twitter, for getting a lot of this information, but I also read quite a few articles about this already, so I really hope that you appreciate my work that I put into these as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Good night.